Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to go ahead and do a follow-up video on everything that I did with the first and second car, because I did take a lot of pictures. Even though I did not record, my camera was still out and I was still snapping a couple snapshots here and there. So the least I could do is at least bring you guys up to speed to where I am now, because I did not record everything else in the beginning and didn't make any videos to show you guys along the process. So I wanted to go ahead and start with the first Camaro, or actually, you know what, let's go from the beginning. I wanted a classic Camaro for the longest time. My dream car was a 69 Camaro, you know, with a large big block engine in it, kind of like a modified restoration. Baby blue, white stripes, and black interior. That was my all favorite car. I still want that same car. But I didn't know that there were a lot of second gen Camaros out there that were fairly priced, and those are also a desirable car, and I do like those cars as well. The spoiler is what does it for me. So I looked around and I found a couple cars for sale. One was in my price range, so it was actually really cheap. It was about $1,200. So I decided to go out and go get it. When I got out there, the car had an insane amount of rust on it. I mean, the body looked like it was going to fall apart. Every time I closed the door, I lost like 10% of the car every time I got out of the car or got in the car. So that car was a no-go for an actual rebuild, but it had a good 350 small block Chevy, and it had a good TH350 transmission, and it had decent interior. So I figured $1,200. I mean, for an interior kit plus the engine and transmission, that was a pretty decent deal. So I bought that car, and I began to look around for another car in the area, something a little bit better on body-wise. So now that I knew that I had a good interior and I had a good engine transmission, all I was really looking for was a car that had basically a good body, because everything else I could swap from the first car to the second car. So I found a car. It was about $3,000. I found it about 100 miles away from where I live. Called the guy up, went up there on the weekend, got it. Brought that one home. Now that car had an inline-six 250. It had a good TH350 transmission, but it had trashed interior. So what I ended up doing was I ended up pulling that car into the garage, and I pulled out the old inline-six because it was worn. It was leaking oil everywhere. It was actually shooting oil off the top of the engine. So it wasn't really the engine that I was looking to put into a Camaro, because I mean, how could you have a Camaro without a small block Chevy V8? So I ended up bringing that one in, pulled the engine out. I took the engine out of the first Camaro and put it in the second car. And from that point on, all I did in the interior with the newer Camaro was I took the door panels and a couple other pieces and put them in the newer Camaro. But everything else I left in the first Camaro. And since then, that Camaro's gone. I got rid of it. It was just basically just in the way. It was a rust bucket. Nobody wanted it. I couldn't get rid of it very easily. So I just found the first way I could to get rid of it and just got rid of it. So now I only have this Camaro. So I mainly did most of the engine work. The engine's not fully rebuilt. The top end's been done on it. What we're going to end up doing is in September, we're going to be pulling that motor out, and I got a surprise for you guys on what's going to go in the car. I don't want to spoil it, so but it's going to be very exciting. It's going to be a really, really awesome build. During that process, it's going to have new paint. It's going to have the rally stripes back on it again, and I have a brand new interior kit on order, so that's all going to get done on the inside. So I'm going to walk you guys through that whole process. I still got to strip out the trunk and line the trunk. I still got to get rid of a lot of older parts and replace them with newer parts, like the gas tank, the fuel level cylinder, a lot of the other pieces and parts that are in the car I wanted to replace because they're either brittle or broken or are starting to break. So basically, essentially, it's all going to get stripped down and replaced with all new stuff. So from this point forward, I'm going to be doing an actual step-by-step or an episode for each section that I do, so that way you guys have content every week. I'm going to try to do weekly uploads. That's one of the things that I wanted to stay on top of, and one of the reasons why I didn't really put a lot of stuff out there while I was doing these cars because I didn't want to have a unbalanced schedule on when I put content out for you guys. Because I want to build my following up. I want to have a good following. I want to have people that are interacting and you know, giving me pointers or ideas, you know, so that way you guys can be part of the build. That's ultimately what I want, is I want to be able to have you guys interact with everything. So moving forward, everything is going to be documented. So if I don't upload for like a month, I can guarantee you the following month is probably going to have an episode each week following that, because it's probably going to be like a surge thing where I film all day or film for the whole weekend and don't have content to really jump out there. I want to check it to make sure it's good for you guys. So moving forward, that's what we're going to do. So that's pretty much the breakdown with the two Camaros. I would go more into detail, but I don't want to bore you guys with a 20-minute video, so I'm trying to keep it short. I'm giving you guys just the essentials, throw up some pictures so you guys know what I'm talking about. And like always, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.